how the theft by a few has resulted in the loss of job, opportunities, loss of support structure for 205 families, and nobody has been arrested, nobody has been recalled from parliament, nobody has even been charged for any crime. Why? Because corruption is part of the central DNA of the Swapo party. Now you and I know, but others don't, that every era has its own answers, because every era has its own questions about society, about politics, about development, and about how the future should be defined. But former liberation movements tend to, in 25 years, on a minimum, lose the analytical capacity to objectively scrutinize the national conditions of poverty. Hello, Philip. They lack the capacity to objectively and honestly engage society on the concerns that they have. Primarily because former liberation movements get to be consumed by greed, materialism, corruption, and selfishness. And when they get consumed by these three pillars that lead to selfishness, they forget their historic mission to free people from underdevelopment and poverty. When that happens, such liberation movements begin to implode themselves internally. The implosion of Swapo party is about to happen. It has begun to happen. It is split right down the middle. And the reason why Swapo party keeps on getting the kinds of votes it gets is simply because around 40% of the population has seen no reason to vote, and those that go and vote find no alternative to vote for. Additional to that, former liberation movements have perfected the art of rigging elections over and over again. And now in Namibia we have the famous EVM machines with no paper trail. I'm laughing. If you look at the archaic leadership of Swapo, they have progressively decapitated themselves and essentially lack a central, critical, intellectual thought of analysis. And what you see as presidents, as secretary generals, are mere robots whose time has come to an end. For this reason, and for many other reasons that I will elucidate now, it is a good day for me. It is a good day for me. It is indeed a day that the Lord has made. And rejoice in it. When you quickly, and I'll be very short, this is not a speech really, and I'm notorious for speaking too long, Dibulukeni. I'm not going to speak for long, and he's kicking me here on the field. When you look at the question of land, you will find that Swapo never had a policy of giving back land to those that lost land. They spoke about giving back land to the historically disadvantaged. They never wanted to recognize that Herodos, Namas, Buster, San, and others lost land. And they quickly decided to make it a tribal terrain, apparently against Ovambos. That speaking for the return of dispossessed land is an attack on the Ovambos. Of course, as nationalists, we are aware, for instance, about the struggles of the Ombajas, who have difficulties in a small space of land in Umsati. We know of the Ovadembas, who are also struggling with land. We must deal with these matters, as well as the Opaludis. We understand these things. But in the soundbite culture of our politics, when you speak about other ethnic groups in relation to what they have lost, the ears are closed down of the tribalists within Swapo party. We have also, of course, recognized, apart from the need to return dispossessed land, that there is an urgent need for agrarian reform. That you can't have the Angolan border, Angolan-Namibian border, lying openly, prohibiting around 3 million cattle from former Ovambo, Kavango, and Zambezi, not reaching a proper market where those communities can also sell their livestock, as others south of the red line do. We have provided in this question of the land challenge a very fair and balanced articulation of what we see has to be done in respect of returning dispossessed land, and what we see as the need for agrarian reform in those communities who sit on their ancestral land. We have done it, but I'm repeating it again, because maybe the members of the media do not carry it through. I don't blame you, but it must be carried through. That our views about land possession that needs to be returned to those communities in 8 regions is not contrary to the need to develop the lands of the 4 regions of Kavango, east and west of Zambezi. We are saying that agrarian reform must be central to land reform. But they don't get it because they don't want to get it. They don't want to get it. And they don't want to get it because they have begun to serve themselves with the land that the government is buying. I will tell you some other day how some of the leaders have given themselves farms. Sasfro, you know it. How some of the leaders have themselves given each other farms, resettlement farms. How they have not given themselves units, but whole farms. We will give you examples. we have evidence about these things. And Mr. Idiot, we know. We must be statesmen, we must not make fun of people. I love Tony Dioma, he's my friend, he's my brother. We are from the same family. We may differ here and there. And this is the point that people forget. Whether someone is a bit dark-skinned or a bit light-skinned like Reverend Bishop here, we are essentially members of the same family. Whether you are Ovambo or Kavango or Nama, we are of the same tree. People forget it quickly because we are one.